part 2 of our subtraction.
SpongeBob?
Part 2.
SpongeBob.
We're doing part 2 of our subtraction series. So the first part, we went over a couple strategies, and today we're going to do a couple more strategies that you guys can use for subtraction moving forward. And so, Eric, can you read our goal for today, please?
Okay, here I go. Our goal today is to be able to solve subtraction problems within 1,000 using the adding up strategies or standard assortment.
Standard algorithm. Thank you. Yep. So some of these are strategies you guys have probably used before, but today we're going to go through them again and just kind of talk about how you can use those to solve subtraction. Before we do that, we're going to do a quick warm-up. So if you have a whiteboard near you or your pencil and paper, you can use either one. But we're going to do a quick little warm-up. So yesterday we talked about the number line strategy, and yesterday we talked about subtracting in chunks. I want you to use one of those strategies to solve the problem 482 minus 183. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to solve it. Okay, I'm going to set the timer. I'll give you 2 minutes and 30 seconds to solve that problem. So either one of those strategies, and then we're going to talk about the answer. On your mark, get set, go.
That is very easy.
You guys have 30 seconds. Okay, let's come back together here. And is there anybody who can talk us through how they solved the problem? Michael, I'm going to, hang on, give me just a second to go get to my Promethean board so I can write. All right, Michael, whenever you are ready, go ahead and talk us through what you did to solve that problem.
First, I subtracted 100 from 482, and I got 382.
Okay.
Then I subtracted 80 from 382. Then I got 302. Then I subtracted 3 from 302, and I got 299.
All right. Give thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up if, hang on a second. Michael, can you hit mute for me, please? Thank you. Give us a thumbs up if you did it the way Michael did, where you did subtracted by place in chunks. It's not very many people. Did anybody use the number line? Raise your hand if you used the number line. Alejandro, can you talk us through how you solved it using a number line? Go ahead and unmute yourself. I'm going to erase what Michael's talked us through, and then I'm going to let you go ahead and tell us, Alejandro, how you did it using a number line.
So I subtracted 100 and I got 382.
All right, what's next?
And then I subtracted 2 40s.
Okay, so you went back 40 first, like that, and got 142?
Yes.
Then 40 more?
Yeah.
Okay, and got 302.
And then I subtracted 3 and then I got 299.
Very good. And I'm going to change colors here and show you guys. We can see the 182 or 183 right here. There's 100. This 40 and 40 is 80. And there's our 3. So we can see exactly where that 183 you were taking away was. Alejandro, nice job. Thanks for sharing. So moving forward today, we're going to look at 2 different strategies. And so I have this little question here. Did you know you can actually solve subtraction problems using addition? So for some people, subtraction may not be our strength. You may not be that great at going backwards, but you can actually start from the smaller number and add up to the larger number to find the difference. So if you're somebody who has a harder time going backwards, you could consider using this strategy. So I'm going to show you what I mean and how you can do it, and then we're going to try one together. So if I have 671 minus 234, I'm going to use addition. I'm going to start at 234. Okay? And here's the key thing to know about this strategy. I am not adding 234 plus 671, right? Because I'm not trying to figure out what those 2 numbers are together. I'm trying to figure out what the middle part is. What's the difference between those 2? So I'm going to add to that 234 until I get to 671. So I'm going to start by going 234 plus 200. And I'm adding a 2 to the hundreds place, so I know that's 434. Okay, now I'm going to look. I got to get to 671. I know I can add another 200 without going over. So I'm going to do 434, and I'm going to add 200, and I'm going to get 634. Now's a little bit trickier part. I've got to try to get to 671 without going over that. So I'm going to do 634 plus 20. And get 654. And then I'm going to do 654 plus 10 is 664. So now I know I'm just 7 short of 671. So I'm going to do 664 plus 7 equals 671. So now I've gotten this far. And I've got to figure out now, how do I figure out the difference between them? Well, I know it's not in this section, right? I'm going to put it in red because it's not this section, because that's just what my results were after adding numbers together. And I know it's not this section because this is just the steps of me getting up to 671. I'm looking for the number of times, or the pieces I actually added together to get there. So I know that's going to be this middle section right here. So I'm going to take all of that middle section. So I'm going to put X's over these because those don't matter anymore, right? And I'm going to add all those numbers up from the middle to figure out what my difference is in the problem. So I'm going to do 200 plus 200 equals 400. And then my tens place, I have 20 plus 10 equals 30. And then I have a 7, it's only 1, so I can do 7 plus 0 since there's no other parts where there are 1s, and get 7, and then add them together. I have 7 1s, 3 10s, and 4 100s. So I know the difference on that problem is 437, right? Just based on the pieces I added together to get to the answer, to get to 671, to get to the difference. So now we're going to talk through one. Oh, sorry. I can also add up using a number line. So I want to do this example too. Sorry. So I can start, if I'm doing 794 and I'm subtracting 381, I can also start down here at 381. And if it helps me to visually have a number line, I can add up from there to get up to find the difference. So I can do the same thing I just did on the last one. I'm going to add 200. And I'm going to get to 581. And then I'm going to add 200 again. And I'm going to get it to 781. And then I'm going to add 10 to get to 791. And then I'm going to add 3 to get to 794. So there I started at 381. I finished at 794. And I'm going to add up all my jumps. 200 plus 200, so I'll do it over to the side. 200 plus 200 equals 400, right? So I've taken care of that. And then 400 plus 10 equals 410. So I did my 10, and now my 3 1s. 410 plus 3 equals 413, and that's my difference, 413. So I did the same thing. I just kept track of it using jumps on a number line. So if you're somebody who doesn't need the jumps, you can do it this way where you just notate it and write it out like I did on the last problem. Or if you're somebody who needs that visual of a number line, you can do the same thing on a number line. You're just keeping track of your jumps and you're adding all your jumps together. So now we're going to try this problem with adding up on your own. So the only thing I'm going to help you with is where you start, okay? So who can raise their hand and tell us when we're adding up, we're doing 344 minus 128, what number are we starting with when we start our adding up piece? Who can tell me what number we're going to start with when we're adding up? Alejandro.
128.
Very good. We're going to start with 128. You can add whatever you want to 128. Remember, we're not adding 128 plus 344. We're trying to get to 344. So we're going to start at 128. We're going to stop when we get to 344. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes to go through and use the adding up strategy and try to get the answer. Okay, find the difference using the adding up strategy. You have 2 minutes. You can use your whiteboard or paper and a pencil. On your mark, get set, go. Please do not hold up your whiteboards when you have the answer. We're going to talk through it at the end. Please do not hold it up when you find the answer. You guys have 1 more minute. Okay, let's come back together. Is there anybody who can talk us through what you did with adding up? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do when somebody talks me this through, I'm gonna notate it on the top, but I'm also gonna show it on a number line down at the bottom. All right, so I'll show you both ways you could do it. If you have any risk takers who are willing to share with us what you did to solve the problem with adding up. I need somebody who is a risk taker who is willing to talk us through what they did to find the answer using adding up. Asil, thank you. Go for it. Asil, you're muted still. Gotta unmute yourself.
Okay, so I was counting and I was wondering what makes 344. And then if I added 2 to 8, it becomes 10. And if I added 2, it would become 30. And I just needed 1 more 10 for it to become a 40. 40, and I got, and 2 plus 1 equals 3, so I got 212.
Okay, so slow down for a minute. Okay, so I can recap.
What I think.
So Asil wanted to get to a friendly number. So this is a great example. So Asil, instead of starting with the hundreds like I did in my examples, she did addition to get to a friendly number, which is a great strategy, right? She got to a 10 first, so she added 2 right at the very beginning to get to 130, which is a friendly number on a 10, right? So she did that first. Then she added 10 to get to 140. Then she took 140 and added the 100 to get to, 200, right, Asil? To get to 340. All right, then what was the next part, Asil? Now you're good to go.
Then I just added a 4, and if there's a 4, then it means that then you would need to add 2 plus 4, and it would become 6.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you. So we've gotten to our number, right? We started at 128. We've gotten to our 344. Then we're gonna add our things we added up together. So Asil said she did 2 plus 4 equals 6. We don't have any other 10s, so we have 10 plus 0 is 10. And then we have 200 plus 0 equals 200. So then we have 200 and 10 and a 6. So we have 216 would be the answer. All right. So that's how Asil, she did it getting to a friendly number, which is perfect. Could Asil have started right away with adding 200? Yes. Right. But she did a good job of getting to a friendly number and solving it that way, which is great. We're moving forward here. We're going to move on to, this is probably a way that a lot of people have done this before, and a lot of probably when you're doing things at home, your parents talk to you about, because the standard algorithm, which is a lot of you guys may say stacking it up or old school method, because that's what they taught back when I was in school. This is called the standard algorithm, and it's a great way to do these problems, but you have to really understand what you're doing, right? So if I have the problem 512 minus 211, what I'm actually doing is I'm subtracting each place, but I'm only doing it by the digits. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to the ones place right here, and I'm subtracting the ones place, 2 ones minus 1 1. Those digits are the ones place, so I have one left at the bottom. Then I'm going over to the tens place, and I'm subtracting 110 minus another 10. So what I'm really doing right here is 10 minus 10, and I'm getting 0 tens. Then lastly, I'm going over to the hundredths place. So what I'm really doing is 500 minus 200. So this is actually 500, and this is actually 200, and I'm doing 5 minus 2 and getting 300. So then my answer is 301. Guys, Miss Weibel and I are laughing because I'm in here and I'm pointing to the numbers with my hand on the Promethean board like you can see it, and you're really just looking at my shared screen. So I'm actually subtracting each thing by place value, but I'm writing it out in an algorithm up one on top of the other to make kind of a shortcut and make it a little quicker. That one was a really easy example. We're going to look at another one right here, which is what happens when we have to regroup, right? And so I put over on the right side, it's a little funny GIF. You need to forget about the term borrow, right? Some people might say, have probably told you before, we're going to borrow from this place. No one's borrowing anything, right? You're not giving it back. When you borrow something, you use something, you give it back. You're regrouping, and you're using the place value and the different problems to help set up the problem the correct way. So when I'm looking at this, this is a mistake that I've seen. A lot of people go 4 minus 5, and they write 1 because the difference between 5 and 4 is 1. All right, I see that all the time. You can't do that because what we're saying is when we're taking 714 minus 245, we're saying this is 4 ones, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're subtracting 5 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we can't do that, right? We can't take, if I have $4, you can't take $5 from me. So we have to do what we call regrouping. So I'm going to the tens place, and I'm saying, you know what, I'm taking away one of those tens, and I'm grouping it over to the ones. We should all know fair trade by now, right? If I have 110, that's the same as 10 ones. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I don't have 4 ones. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 ones. So I'm going to cross out my 4, and now I'm going to say 14 ones. Now can I do 14 ones minus 5 ones? Yes. If I have $14, you can take 5 away. 14 ones minus 5 ones is 9. Now we run into that same issue, right? In the tens place, I have 0 tens. You cannot take 4 tens away from 0 tens. So just like before, I'm going to take one of my hundreds, and I'm going to move it over to the tens place. So if I had 0 tens, 10 tens are in 100. Now I have 10 tens. Okay, and I'm going to do 10 tens minus 4 tens is 6 tens. And then I can go to hundreds. 6 hundreds minus 2 hundreds is 4 hundreds. All right. The important thing is I really need to be able to see that I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn off my sharing, and I'm going to make sure I'm real big on here. Turn it on speaker view. I need to know that if you use the algorithm, you can really honestly tell us how you used it and what everything means, right? So if you go in and you do your math today and you use the algorithm, if you can't explain to me exactly why it worked or how you knew what it was, you should be using something besides the algorithm, subtracting by place or number line or adding up. Go ahead, Mrs. Fleischer.
This has nothing to do with math. This has to do with your focusing. I should not see people doing magic tricks with markers or having their feet on the top of their chairs. You need to be sitting still and focusing. If your chair is not comfortable, then get a pillow and put it under your seat. But I should not be seeing your feet up in the air or you playing with your writing utensils. You should be focusing, and we should also see all of your faces. Eduardo, where are you? Okay, sorry.
Okay. So when we are using the standard algorithm, you should really be able to explain to me how you got your answer and why you did each piece in the standard algorithm. If you can't tell me why it's working or how it works, that means you need to choose another strategy. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen again. And I have 2 problems. All right. 2 problems that I want you to try to solve. Okay. So 237 minus 126 and 563 minus 346. One of these is going to definitely prove to be more challenging than the other one. So I'm going to give you 4 minutes because you're solving 2 problems, and then we're going to come back together in 4 minutes and talk about your answers. All right, so you have 4 minutes on your mark, get set, go. Uh-oh, sorry. Whoops. Two minutes and 20 seconds, y'all.
I don't know what's the answer.
Okay, so take a minute, see if you can go through the strategy and solve it. If not, why don't you try using a different strategy that we've already learned to try to find the answer? If the algorithm's not your way, that's okay. You could try a different method for now, and then
Okay.
I just wouldn't choose the algorithm when you solve the problems later.
Okay, I'll do it.
One minute and 30 seconds.
Hey, more time.
Twenty seconds. Okay, everybody, let's come back together. We're going to go through these 2 problems, lickety split, and then we'll be on your way to do the assignment for the day. So is there anybody who can talk us through the first problem, 237 minus 126? Jay, go for it. Tell us what we should do step by step.
So first, I subtracted 7 and 6, and I got 1. Then I subtracted 3 and 2, and I got 1, and 2 and 1, and then I got 1.
Very good. 111 would be the answer. All right, let's go over to the more challenging one here. 563 minus 346. CJ, can you talk us through this one? All right, Dunya, was your hand up? Dunya, do you want to tell us how to solve this one?
3, 7.
Okay, so we're going to change the tens place to a 5, and we're going to move a 10 over here and do 13 minus 6 equals 7. What's next?
6, 4, 3.
5 minus 4 is 1. And then last, what do we do?
2.
Yep, 5 minus 3, and we get 2. Then our answer is 217. Good job. Thank you, Dunya. So that's the standard algorithm. Like I said, you guys, if you don't fully understand it and you can't explain it, that's fine. Choose a different strategy. You don't have to use the algorithm just because that's the way you see problems a lot on paper, or just because someone else does it that way, okay? So your job today is to log on to Math in Canvas, and you have a subtraction quick check. It's just a few questions, all right? The last one does say, please explain how you got your answer, okay? So you don't get your point on the last one until you show us how you got your answer. So you're gonna log off of the Zoom, go to Canvas, Wednesday, Math, Subtraction Quick Check. We have a lot of people who don't have Dreambox lessons done, y'all. If you get done today, your lunch and recess does not technically start for 1 hour. It is 11:50 to 12:50. So what you have an hour. So if you get done with the Subtraction Quick Check early, log in and do a couple of Dreambox lessons from your portal, okay? I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly to get on there from your portal before we go. All right, so if you're on this page right here, all you have to do is click on Dreambox right here. Mine's probably going to open the teacher version, but yours will open the student version, and you are ready to go. Okay, I just want to show you, we can look on here and we can see who's done what minutes and what lessons. All right, there's still a lot of zeros on the minutes and lessons.
Where's my name on Dreambox? Where's my name on Dreambox?
So your job today in math is to, click on Wednesday. Click on Math, and you have Subtraction Quick Check. All right. Office hours at 2 o'clock today. I'm going to read the Tiger Rising today and tomorrow, the same chapters, just to give you 2 opportunities, okay, to hear me read it. So office hours from 2 at 2 o'clock today. If you want to hear the next 2 chapters of Tiger Rising, you can do it today at 2 o'clock, or you can do it tomorrow at 2 o'clock. All right. That's all I've got. You may go ahead and leave the meeting and get started on your math work for today.
Okay. Bye.
We will see you later. Bye.
See ya. Maybe I'll go on office hours. I don't know, but see ya.